So I now please welcome the Executive Vice President of Music Canada, Amy Terrill. Good evening, everybody. Minister Bear, to Mayor Robertson, Mark, Tyson and Chin over there, to all my industry colleagues and friends, it is my pleasure to speak to you this evening on behalf of Music Canada. Before I go any further, I want to thank the BC government for its confidence in the music sector here and for its continued investment. The excitement yesterday was palpable, as you know, and Amplify BC will produce great dividends for your communities, for the artists, and for the industry. So thank you very much. Tonight I'd like to focus my remarks though on challenging the status quo and to underline the importance of action, both individual and organizational. Music Canada is proud to have made a commitment to leadership in our industry by, among other things, not doing something the way it's always been done just because that's the way we would expect to do it. Our board, Shane, Steve, and Jeffrey, and our staff team led by Graham, are proud of our efforts to embrace new ideas and with encouraging these new ideas with a bias towards action. But don't just take my word for it, let me give you a few examples. It's why we did something no one had done before when we started taking on the issue of music cities. So back in 2011, we began to examine the way municipalities interact with their music communities for the benefit of the entire city, as well as specifically for artists and for the larger music ecosystem. Challenging the status quo is why our work resonated, and it's used on every continent. It's led a dozen cities in Canada alone to begin developing music strategies, and that was most recently reflected in the exciting announcement yesterday by Mayor Robertson. Another round of applause for that. Our commitment to challenge the status quo has also led us to broaden the conversation with provincial governments, stressing the importance of music as a regional economic driver as well as a cultural powerhouse. Our commitment to challenge the status quo is why we won't give up on advocacy for quality music education for all young people with our partners, Music Counts and Caris, no matter where they live or their family's income. There are simply too many benefits. The focus on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math is deficient. Arts and humanities should be on equal footing. We need to focus on STEAM. Our commitment to challenge the status quo has also led us to help artists find their voices in voicing their concerns and solutions. It's why we champion the work of the brilliant artist advocate Miranda Mulholland, who's here. Where's Miranda? Oh, she was here. Look for her later, she's wearing hats. And encourage creators to get involved in the current copyright review process. And it's why the theme of our JUNOS participation this evening, is our advocacy support for artists at every stage of their career. One of the biggest challenges for music creators is the value gap. In an era of unprecedented music access and consumption, creators are receiving a fraction of what they should be paid for the use of their music, and a middle-class musicians, the JUNO nominees of today and tomorrow, is in serious jeopardy. But we don't have to simply accept the outdated laws that contribute to the value gap, the status quo. No, we should all call upon the federal government to address safe harbors and industry cross-subsidies that undermine a viable marketplace. And we, along with our friends at SOCAN and many other partners, are doing just that. Woo. And finally, challenging the status quo is why we've begun an organizational review to ensure that we are ready as an organization to tackle current issues facing our community and to prioritize the values of inclusion and diversity. It's why we've led conversations on these vital topics, including last year at CMW's Global Forum, when we looked at Indigenous communities, and at our fall meeting on gender inequality. We'll continue the conversation on inclusion and accountability at CMW this May. Change will not happen naturally. If it did, we wouldn't be where we are today. In our industry or in society, we would not be faced with inequality. We can't wait for a natural evolution to occur. Sometimes change needs to be forced, and it might be uncomfortable. But each one of us, as individuals and organizations, have a responsibility to do our share. So to all our partners in the room, and there are many of you, who are also challenging the status quo, whether by diversifying your boards, mentoring and empowering women or other underrepresented groups to have a greater presence in music production or management or across nominations categories right here at the JUNOS, we stand with you and we support you. To all who understand the contribution of Canadian artists and believe in the power of music to our economy, our culture, and our educational system, let's continue to work together to create the change we all believe in. Thank you.